What's up? Bible by Blacksters. Still working on that name, but as promised, here is our bonus episode that Miss Jaye and I recorded for you all during our in-between season break. I actually took a break to get married to my husband. We actually had our family celebration because we got married in the middle of COVID, but now that things have, lifted, we had family come through, and Miss Jaye she's in her Gemini birthday season. So she's doing some traveling, but we made sure to take some time before we left you guys to record some extra material to touch on the bonus episode where we promised that we would talk about our childhood experiences. So here you go. Let us know how you enjoy it. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, Bible by Blacks family.
Okay, wait a minute now. Have we actually came up with a term yet? Because you said I can't call them Blacksters.
We cannot call them Blacksters.
Okay, I don't know.
Let me rest on that.
Okay. You still going? She's still contemplating, y'all. Anyways, welcome to Bibles by Blacks.
Because we can't call them BBB. That's a Better Business Bureau.
What up, triple B's? No.
Triple B. Can't call them the swarm.
No. Oh, good God, no.
Or can't call them the beehive.
No. No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Speaking of the beehive, Beyonce is currently on tour.
I saw all of the memes. I've seen all of the clips.
Somebody is sitting there recording a whole show.
I feel like someone rich bought tickets to every concert. Because it's like, why is it always in the same angle?
Same
and
angle.
Somebody's always touring with her. Unless she just pays a social media person. Which a lot of people do.
I mean, that's fine. That's saving me money. I can just hit play on Instagram.
Right. Well, I'll just wait for it to show up on HBO because... I'm not paying for them tickets.
I'm good.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, again, so welcome to our bonus episode, as we promised you all.
Yes.
This episode, we're going to just talk about really anything.
The church.
Anything and everything that happens
the Bible,
in the church.
The church and the Bible.
In the Lord's house.
We dwelleth. I would like to say we did ask for some special guests to come join us.
We sure did. And I'm going to put her on blast. I ain't going to say her name.
I'm not going to say her name. But hopefully next season we will get
a special guest.
Someone
who can tolerate our silliness.
Yeah. It's gotta be somebody that can, knows us both.
Yeah.
And knows what to expect.
I thought about throwing my husband on this episode.
Oh, man.
Because I don't know if I've ever told you all, but my husband is Caucasian, okay?
No. He's white.
He's good and white, okay?
White.
And he's not like a brother white. He's not like, like into rap white. No. He is all the way Caucasian. Aerosmith white. White snake white.
Here I go again on my own.
He is Phil Collins white. That's how white he is. So I was going to ask him pretty much like, because I want to know what is the difference between a white church experience versus a black person's experience? Because we all have so many different. Do they have? Well, they do have the Lutherans, the Protestant,
Episcopal,
and as we talked about on our very first episode, we have our Mormons and our.
Why did we just
Amish.
smack at the same time?
Oh, sorry.
that was so ghetto.
That was so black of us. I'm so sorry. Yes, and the Amish. So
yes, the Amish. Shout out to the Amish.
Big up to the Amish. But I'm curious as if I don't know. I know my experiences from, as I've told y'all before, the different types of religion that come from my household, right? And then me experiencing. Okay, see, I'm going to start already. One of my favorite memories that's embedded in my head was when one of my first, I guess, child sleepovers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to church with, your friend and her family the
Yeah.
next day. Boy, I tell you, I was thrown for a whole loop. They was looking at me like, what are you doing? Because I didn't know what to do
At the church,
at the
your
church they
church?
went to.
Oh.
So in Catholic churches, when they do the hymns and when they do all this stuff, if anyone who's ever listened to this who has a Catholic background, y'all know y'all go up and down a lot. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So I was used to, the priest does something, you stand up, then you sit down. Then does something, you stand up, then you sit down. So every time their people would change something, I would stand up and they would turn.
Oh, at your friend's church?
Yeah, so they was turning, looking at me in the pew. They're like, what are you doing? And I was like,
yank you
yeah,
down.
I was like, aren't y'all supposed to stand up? Like, he's singing. Aren't you supposed to stand up?
So wait, what? I'm sorry, because I got a whole visual. What type of church was that your friend grew
I don't remember.
She was white?
She was mixed, I think.
Okay.
I feel like she had like Mexican in her, but I don't think the whole family is Mexican. Usually, I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but usually Mexicans are Catholic.
I was gonna say that. Yeah,
so,
I was like, that's racial. It's kind of what you know, so.
Right? Yeah. No, but it was It was just very different because they didn't understand why I kept trying to stand up.
Okay, let me see if I can break this down for you because I might be able to tell you what denomination, quote unquote, that could have been. So, did they have a choir?
No
choir. Did they have a pastor, preacher, any type of story? Okay, they did. Did they sing from a hymn book? Like
the Catholic hymn book? No, they sung. I feel, now that I think about it, maybe it was Jehovah's Witness because.
Wait, what day? Where did you go? What day was this?
No, it was on a Sunday, I thought.
Then it's not Jehovah.
No, then it's not Jehovah's Witnesses. But they had the little printout, the pamphlet.
They had a pamphlet.
Like a printout of the service for the day.
They had a program for
I don't know.
They had a program. I have never been to a church service that had a program.
They had a program.
You sure it wasn't on special occasion?
No.
Like somebody didn't get married.
No.
Somebody didn't get buried.
No. It was, as I say, I do remember it because I was like, this is weird, but yeah, no. They had like a program.
I can't.
Okay, anyway.
So I thought I could help you, but now I can't. Because I don't know
I'm so sorry.
any service that provides a pamphlet of service.
It was a pamphlet.
That's pretty cool, though. At least it gives you a breakdown. Wait, did it have the songs listed of what they were going to sing for that day?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not mad at that because that narrows it down a whole lot.
They had the whole, that was on a schedule. They was like, stick to the schedule. Because if anybody's ever been to a black church, we do not stick to anybody's schedule.
Yeah, nah.
Not at all.
No.
Especially on the special occasions. Like whenever we had, my favorite is always when they have the children's choir. Because I am thoroughly entertained by, and I always want to, y'all gonna be mad at me, but I don't care. I always want to be like, which kid is gonna be the one to start crying? Or start dancing out of sync of everyone else, or is literally just gonna stand there and act like they don't know the lyrics and fright.
Or just start randomly saying, Mom. No,
because
we
have seen it all, and I don't know why, but it tickles my fancy, and I love watching the children's
That's so cute
because it's so cute, but it's like. As parents, now that I'm in one, right? I'm like, that's so mean and cruel. Why you throw your child out there knowing they don't want to do that?
She just loves me.
Right. And then the mom would be in the front. You know the verse? You know.
No.
Say it, Bobby.
Oh my God.
I always enjoy the children's choir. I don't know why.
That is hilarious. So, yeah. So, okay, you grew up Catholic, right?
Both.
Catholic and Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Primarily, which church did you go to? It don't matter.
Okay, so my dad was in the military, right? So on the military, on the base, I don't think they really stuck with a specific denomination, right? If you go. So, and honestly, my parents, I think because my dad's mom was such a devout Catholic and my mom's dad, it is very true what they say about preacher kids. Okay. All 7 of them was bad. They wilded out. So I think once they were adults, they really just was like, we don't care what you do.
Okay.
So it was only during really the summers of my summer visits with my grandparents
that you would go to the
that
Catholic
we would
church.
go to either like the weeks we were with my dad, we was at Catholic, and then when they would fly us out with my mom's, we was doing Baptist. Okay. So that's what I was telling you. I was like, it was always I was like, I don't know what I am because I don't know.
I just know the Lord.
I just have to stick to the Lord and His Word because they both, of course, use the Bible, but the Baptists don't do the Hail Marys and all that, all that stuff. But the Catholics do. And then the Catholics, I will tell y'all this one thing I always, even as a kid, and I don't consider myself a germaphobe. But even as a child, I always knew I'm not drinking from that goblet because everybody has put their entire mouth on that goblet.
Okay.
I don't know who you done kissed them from. I don't know if you've got, herpes of the lips. I don't know. Like, everybody
that stuff didn't exist back then, quote unquote.
Lies. So
they blessed it anyway.
Watch everybody and on top of that, backwash. So you watch everybody go up there and drink from the goblet. And I feel like, I don't want to.
Okay. So here's when I can share my similarities. Oh, Lord. That doggone goblet. First, before I even get to the goblet.
Well, yeah, because I really want to know, because I've never heard of
the type of church, the type of denomination that I grew up in is called Exclusive Brethren, or just shortened Brethren. And let me just preface this by saying, because I don't want nobody in my family coming for me.
Oh, Lord.
Or nobody who listening coming for me either. Everything I say is my experience, okay? It is factual, but again, it's my experience. And if it sounds funny, again, it's my experience. Okay. So just to start with the goblet or the cup, because if y'all should all know communion or, taking of the bread and the wine, however it's called in your community, they did that a lot. Well, not a lot, every Sunday in our church. And we did have one goblet. Yes. It was, first of all, every Sunday without fail. Every Sunday.
Huh.
Yeah. Not just the first Sunday or the last. Every Sunday. Okay. So we had the goblet. Shout out to Manischewitz wine because we use the Jewish wine. Okay.
Wait. Okay. So they use real wine, not the grape juice.
No.
Okay.
And we did have a loaf of bread and
wait.
No, you heard me. A whole loaf. It was soft too. I don't know where they got it from, but that bread was banging. Okay.
Was it unleavened bread?
It wasn't unleavened bread. No, it wasn't unleavened because it had a little bounce to it. It had a little bounce. Okay. And before I go any further, I have to also say this. They call it Exclusive Brethren because you have to choose my words carefully. You have to be included in the, how can I put this gently? What? The people that break bread is what it's called. You have to be allowed to do it. It's not just given to everybody. So they have to counsel you first, make sure your heart is good, and pure, and some stuff.
Wait. So how do they know that?
They counsel you. They have sessions with you. They being the actual. Okay, see, I gotta start over. Okay, so
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm intrigued because I didn't even know about the Exclusive Brethren until I met Miss Jaye.
Yeah,
and she says that this is actually the normal.
It's quite
denomination in
the West Indies. I'll say it like that in the West Indies.
So in the Caribbean culture.
Yeah, it's a good 60-70% of the churches down there. Some churches in the Caribbean are traditional, it's not Baptist. I don't know what the right word is, but it's the hallelujah, all of that. They do all of that. Okay. But you're going to find a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Trini. No, I can't speak on Trini. I don't know. But definitely a lot of Jamaicans you're going to find that have grown up like me in the church. Okay. A lot. Okay. A whole lot. And you're going to also find a lot of white people as well
Really?
Yes, because they brought it over to us.
Oh, well,
so that's where it came
you know what?
from.
That's true. Well, and I think that's why I'm intrigued, because wasn't Jamaica,
We were colonized by the British.
but yeah, so it's a British colony, and the
Right.
British was Catholic.
Yes.
Or, well, and some of them Lutheran
Some
as
of them,
well.
but
So
the church itself, I think when I did my research, my lightweight research, it's like an offshoot of like Germanish culture. Like you're gonna get a lot of like, don't make that face.
I'm sorry, y'all,
Because
because it sounds all over the place. It does.
Okay, let me do this the right way.
No, not that you're all over the place, but I'm not trying to be mean. But
Okay.
religion all over the place.
It's a subset of Christian evangelical movement generally described as a Plymouth Brethren. So when you hear the word Plymouth, you know what area you're talking about, right? You ain't gotta laugh like that.
Well, I'm laughing because the only thing I can equate to Plymouth is Plymouth Rock, which is
That's what I said. So it's like, okay, so
it's like a pilgrimage?
all right, listen to this. Not a
I'm sorry. Did y'all wear white
my
hats?
throat.
I want to know. Did y'all
All right,
wear
I'm
white
reading
hats?
from Wikipedia on this. Listen,
Lord,
all
here we
right.
go.
These brethren have one fellowship in some 19 countries. France, Germany, see? Spain, Italy, Denmark, I knew that. Netherlands, Switzerland, Sweden, Argentina, Jamaica, Barbados. So this is the area I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, Barbados, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. But they're more numerous in Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, and North America. And when I say North America, I mean like that whole like Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, like the whole little
Plymouth Rock was.
that, okay? So, going back to my experience, because I don't want to take too much time on the particulars, but going back to my experience, yes, the exclusivity of it all. Like, yeah, they counsel you, they talk to you, make sure you know you're in the right spirit, da-da-da-da.
Okay.
After you've, quote-unquote, passed the test, it's not a written test, but just that they deem you worthy. That's the only word I can think of.
I'm not you worthy.
Then you get to take a piece of the cup. I mean, a piece of the bread in the cup and drink the cup.
Okay.
So a lot of my childhood, of course, you're like 8, 7. You're in children's church or whatever. So like I'm able to watch a lot of this, the whole process.
Okay.
So our cup is prayed over and is passed around. Generally, like goes to like left to right and all the way back around to the front. Same thing with the bread. I think the bread comes first and the wine. Yeah, the bread comes first, then the wine. But that goblet, that's what I was trying to get to. Like you said about the germs and the backwash and the sores of the lips. You know, it's possible.
Right.
Shout out to my grandmother. Rest her soul. That's my baby. My grandmother would keep a piece of cloth or a handkerchief on herself. So when the cup got to her, she would wipe before she drank. You ain't really supposed to do that, but who was going to tell my grandmother that you can't do that?
Right.
Nobody. So she would clear out a little,
She was an elder. So no.
She was the elder. I'm telling you right now. Nobody messed with Sister Hazel. Telling you.
Well, first of all, her name was Hazel, so yeah.
You already know.
Yeah, you already know.
You know what you got, right? So yeah, she would clean it off, take a little sip, and you pass it. And that's how it went on.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's still how it goes on in 2023.
Yeah. In the Catholic Church, they do have the what's the boy that is the priest?
The altar boy?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, a little altar boy, but the special one, because there's several altar boys. But one sometimes, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but from my memory, it's either him or the priest himself has a little cloth and they can wipe the goblet.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll have a white glove and they just wipe it.
Oh, okay.
But yes, you yourself, I can't come up there and be like, wipe. No, you don't get.
Hazel said,
you don't get
want
pop
me
on
to
your head
drink
for
this,
that.
don't you?
But
okay.
In the Catholic Church, you cannot take communion until you're like 7, 8 years old,
Yeah,
right? But then it's awkward because you can as a kid, but then once you hit adulthood, you can't until you like meet certain requirements.
Yeah.
But in the Baptist Church, they also did theirs. So they don't do theirs every week either. It's the first communion. I can't remember which days theirs was.
It's usually like the first Sunday.
I think so. And I think in the Baptist side it was as well. But they didn't do it every week. Now, Where I go now, which is non-denominational, we do it every week.
Yeah.
But they had the wine on the Catholic, the Baptist side, of course. They didn't give you no liquor, so everybody had the grape juice. So you had a little grape, the little thing. Everybody know what I'm talking about. That little piece
cup.
thing, little cup, and you peel the plastic off.
Yes.
And then they have a little crackle.
And I think that is so convenient. I don't care what church it is. That is a very convenient option.
It's actually it's convenient and it's sanitary. So there's that. But what I do, I used to hate struggling though with the little peel top.
You had to open it because you gotta hurry up.
Right. I would feel so rushed because I'd be like, oh my God, if I don't drink it at the same time the priest drinks it, I'm not gonna be blessed. And so it was so stressful where I'd be like, oh, come on. Like over there trying to poke a hole in the little seal cap so I can hurry up and drink it. Because I used to be like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be blessed because I'm not drinking at the same time.
Oh my God, I miss my blessing.
Right. And then okay, so now, see, we about to kick this off because what I couldn't stand, especially as a kid, was the ushers because they would be rushing you to pass the bucket down for the trash for the communion. So I would feel double pressure. Pressure if I don't drink it at the same time that the priest is drinking it. Pressure to make sure that I hurry up and drink it and pass the bucket down because they'd be over there like, come on, because they'd be like, come on, hurry up, give me a bucket.
I mean, it's only like a sip.
Right. But I'm like, dang, I'm trying to get all of my juice out.
Because it's good. Because grape juice is good.
One, because it's good. And when you're there as a kid, your mom, they don't give you no snacks. And remember, I told y'all, we used to be there all day.
Yep.
Because you would start off early in the morning with Bible school.
Yep.
And then by the time actual regular church happens, at around 10 or 11, you're there with the adults. So especially on the Catholic side, we had like a little church bus that would come in the morning. Can't remember, maybe 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, come around the neighborhood. Me and my brother would get on the bus with the other neighborhood kids. It would bus us to the church.
Time out, wait. You all left before your parents?
Yeah. What? Yes, on the Catholic side, we did. So they made you get up.
It takes a lot of trust for me to put my child on the bus.
This is the 80s. They did not, man.
They was like, yeah, go.
They was like, it's okay. You going into a church,
Go. I know you're gonna be at. And then y'all had cell phones either.
They was very trusting in the Lord, I must say.
Well,
because yes, nowadays ain't no way I'm putting any of my kids on a bus with no stranger.
What Future say? Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
So, but yeah, they would wake us up in the morning. You have to get dressed. You have to be ready by a certain time. They would hurry up and make you quick breakfast, even though once we got there, they would serve us like a little snacky type breakfast thingy. Yeah. And then you would start actual Bible school. And that's why I said you learn the little Bible lessons and you do da-da-da.
Oh, I forgot my children's Bible.
And we're like, girl, how you forget the children's Bible?
I don't know.
But we would do all that. And then, like I said, like 2 hours later, time for actual church. And then we would be ushered in after the adults and we would go in there.
That ain't what I did.
Yeah, that's what we did on the Catholic side.
That ain't what I did
so,
at all.
Okay, wait. So did y'all have Bible study?
All right, so me walk you through.
Bible school?
Let me walk you through the entire day. Church or meeting is what it's called because it's not really a church. You're in like a hall, either a gospel. Don't make that face. It's like a gospel hall. It looks like a big. It looks like a big house, pretty much.
So it's not like a reception hall venue type thing.
No.
Okay.
Generally, you're not going to hear the word church. I mean, I just say church because that's what I'm used to.
It easily equates thing. Yeah.
And I would get argued down by my daddy especially, but I'm like, same thing. But yeah, so we all left together. We didn't go on a bus. We would go straight into. I'm sorry, that busing is tripping me out. I don't like it. But we, right, I guess. Okay. But no, we were all together in one big room, families, certain people kind of like, it wasn't assigned seating, but certain people, like when you go to, how can I describe it? A parking space at your job. You always park in like a certain spot because you're used to it. Mm-hmm. So there was places that people would sit because they were used to sitting there. Okay. So like if you were a new family, you knew I can't sit on that side.
Wait a minute, hold up. Pause real quick. Is there pews? Are y'all sitting in pews?
Chairs.
Okay, so folding chairs?
No, not folding chairs. Like what are those those waiting room chairs? But like Girl, they're not folding chairs. They're not not desk chairs. It's just like those chairs you get like at an auditorium, but not like they're not connected. And I don't know how to describe it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
The ones that be in reception halls. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
They're cushioned.
Yes, cushioned. They're comfortable. They weren't like, So anyway, like me and my family sat on the right-hand side, a couple of rows down. But anyway, so you get together, and by the way, it is pin drop quiet. We don't have a choir. There's no welcome music. There's no organist. There's no flutist. Or is it flautist? There's none of that. There's no piano player. There is no cymbal. There's no triangle. There is no noise.
So do y'all sing hymns?
Yes, from an actual hymn book. And then, hold on. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing.
Y'all can see my face because I'm so thoroughly confused.
I'm going to walk you through this whole thing.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, so generally about 10-15 service, quote unquote, used so lightly starts. Somebody will say, let's sing hymn number 298 from the act, like one of the hymn books.
Okay.
Everybody turns to 298, or they might know it by heart. And they start singing. Mm-hmm. Everybody. Excuse me. Everybody starts singing. They sing the hymn. You stop. And you wait again. Then somebody else will say, let's sing hymn 31. Okay, go back in the book. You sing hymn 31. All right, then you stop. Then someone, by the way, these someones are men, because the women ain't saying anything. They don't do anything. The men of the meeting generally lead the worship service. Again, I am choosing my words carefully here.
Okay.
So a brother would get up and read a scripture that's on his heart. I don't have no problem with this, by the way. It's fine. It's just the way it's structured is just different from what people are used to. So like let's say, for example, if you were my visitor, you'd be like, what?
Right. Because
what's going on?
Who leads it?
The men.
There's not one man.
There's not one man.
So there's not one man in charge to tell like how the flow. So people are
they just know.
They're bouncing, Lord use them
basically, and they're bouncing off of each other. I'm serious.
Okay, no.
So like generally, I keep using that word generally. I don't know why, but a brother will get up to do the communion part of the entire thing. So he'll bless the bread, bless the wine, they pass it around. And then once that's done, we'll sing a couple songs again, and it's about like an hour later is when we're done. And well, for me, again, this is my experience. My uncle was one of the top dogs. So he would get up and, read the announcements and, finally like do like the final prayer to close everything off for that morning. Okay. And then we would split, have a break. We would split, and then we being the kids, would take the leftover wine and the bread into the kitchen because the girls, me and myself included, would, wash those dishes. Those are actual real dishes. So before we washed them, we would take what's left and y'all want some bread?
So sipping on that wine.
Yeah. I started early. Let me stop. So, after that, then we rejoin again for Sunday school. And the Sunday school is for everybody until you separate into your own groups, like by age.
Oh, so y'all had Sunday school after service.
Yes. Yeah. So Sunday school is a lot more vibrant and louder and fun, I have to be honest, because you're singing songs and Father Abraham, like we discussed, that was my jam. We're doing all the motions and round the walls. We getting crunk, okay? They announce the birthdays and anniversaries. Like everything is just like a celebration. Like, ooh, yay! And then it's like, all right, split off again. The young people go over there. The babies go over here. The old people go over here. Yada yada. So we didn't finish until I didn't get home till like 1:30 on Sundays. And remember we were saying, this is not off the record, y'all, but we were saying how moms would have dinner ready on Sundays, just like in the oven. When we get home, we go straight to it because my mom already had all of the fixings ready to go.
Ready. Yeah. So in the Catholic, this is one of the greatest things that I appreciate as a child from my experience in the Catholic Church is quick. Service is
Yeah.
like 45 minutes an hour.
No,
Tops. That's it.
Can't say that I
You
know
are
that.
done and out, right? So again, imagine doing 3-4 weeks like that, then going to Baptist where you don't really leave on a bus for a Bible school. We would go, of course, because my grandfather actually was the preacher. So we would ride with him and my grandmother anyways to church. So we would be there at the start. And so when they would start the Bible school, because we still did have Bible school in the morning for that side as well. And so we would go into whatever group we were supposed to be. They grouped us by the ages, like we had an age group. So we would be grouped off into whatever classroom. And then we would go over whatever Bible story we were learning for that day. And then, like I said before, we do little arts and crafts that, like if we learn about Moses, we color in from a coloring book page of Moses in the sea parting, or Moses with a staff.
And wait, how old were you when you coloring?
We about 5, 6.
Okay.
6 years old.
Okay, that tracks. Okay.
Like all the way up to probably like 8.
Okay.
9, 10. You're doing other things. You're not. No, we're not coloring.
Right.
But they still would do fun activities, crafts with us.
Right.
So we would do that, and then
what?
the music is what always entertained me from the Baptist side, because on the Catholic side, all you got is hymns.
Yeah.
They don't get into it, right? It don't be the good gospel choir music. Everyone sings like this and all the time, right? But when you get into a Baptist
Wait,
church,
there was no.
no, right? But yes, on the Baptist side,
I know.
it sounds wrong, but you knew when Sister such and such with the big chest was coming up, you knew she was about to blow. You knew she was gonna blow when she had good, tight, curly perm. Well, actually, back in the day, when she had that good dripping Jerry curl. Okay, she had a whole good dripping Jerry curl, and the choir robe is stained from the curl juice. And and they had like a maroon.
You better get out.
Their robes were maroon color.
Oh,
and they would all come up there, and she would start.
And then that organ kick in.
And the organ kicked in, and they would start blowing. And I used to be like, "Oh, this is fun."
So let me
This
pause
is
you real quick.
entertaining.
I can already see the difference in how religion, for blacks, I should say, because.
Okay.
A lot of that is like slavery, like when we were enslaved, a lot of us did like singing to the Lord,
Right, yes.
and we did a lot of like, so that transferred over to the Baptist church. I ain't saying Jamaicans weren't slaves. We were, and there's no probably,
Right.
but let's just say those colonizers came over with a little different sense of like, hey, just sit down, read this,
Right.
da. So you can just see like the different nuances between
Yeah.
the
Yes,
denominations.
Absolutely.
I can't speak on them Catholics because I don't know.
So I found one of the top Catholic hymns.
Oh wait,
It's Amazing Grace. We all know how Amazing Grace goes, right? But when
are you gonna sing
it, I'm a
wait,
make.
let me announce
I'm a
you.
torture.
let me
y'all do
bring
this.
you in the right way, ladies and gentlemen.
Girl,
Welcome to the stage.
it won't even be like that in the Catholic Church. They
What
don't
they gonna do?
They don't do all that.
Amen, Regina, come. No, okay. Let
They
me stop
just
being,
be like,
stop being foolish. Regina's
they'll
coming
be
to
like,
sing.
and now it's time for the hymn, pretty much.
Okay, and now it's time for the hymn.
Yeah.
Here come Regina.
Yeah, see,
Go
like, you
ahead.
still got too much in it. This is
Oh,
not.
oh.
It's just like
It's time for the hymn.
Yeah, it's like in the hymn, and
the
then
hymn.
so
And then the hymn.
and they'll be like, and they don't even call them the congregation, but the people sing along, and then the
body
organ-
of Christ.
They do have organs, so it comes on, and it's like
Now, Catholics do have some banging organs because it's like pipes.
They do, but they don't play it in a banging way.
Oh, come
it's
on.
just I need to find a Catholic organ.
We're not playing the Catholic
I'm going to go
organ.
find one clip real quick after I do this so y'all can hear the difference, because it's a difference. But basically, it would go like this. Okay, you're going to have to take out of your head a black, like Mahalia Jackson singing.
I already told you how I grew up in my church, so
can't.
I don't.
Okay.
I can
So
disassociate.
it would be
I'm
like,
good.
Amazing Grace, how sweet is the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see.
It sounds like a lullaby.
'Twas grace
there's
that
more.
taught my heart to fear,
Same
and
song.
grace my fears relieved.
She hit the
How
no-no.
precious child did that grace God
Hello.
appear the hour I first believed.
Oh, wait, what?
So that is how it sings in the
Okay.
Catholic Church.
But you said it's
So-
people, more than one voice.
It's everyone
it's
there.
the choir.
So-
Or no, it's the body.
it's
It's
us.
The parishioners.
Yes, the
Okay.
people.
Let me
And
find
so,
one for you.
and then look, and there's like 5 verses, right?
Okay.
So you go from you have to make sure you're sticking in line 1, and then you go down to the rows, and then line 2. And if you have no idea what you're doing, it's easy to accidentally cross a line and get off, and people will turn and look at you like, you off, you're on the wrong line. Now, when you go to a Baptist church and they sing Amazing Grace, it's not like that. It's Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Like, they're gonna give it, and then they're gonna give it all, right? Completely different. So when you're a child and you go from one and then you go to the other, you're like, oh, this is entertaining. She is giving it all she got.
Okay. So, go ahead. You done?
No, yeah, go ahead.
When you showed me how that hymn looked, that's how our hymn looked. Like
the same, it's from the hymn book.
The same way with the music notes and like, so y'all, I knew how to read music, and I'm not even a musician because I knew how to read those notes and the stuff. But like, I can tell you, I'll do one how our hymns sound, and I'm pretty sure y'all know "Blessed Assurance." If you didn't grow up in church, you probably should have. Not playing, but "Blessed Assurance." Do you know "Blessed Assurance"?
You gotta kick it off. See if I know.
Blessed Assurance is like a classic hymn, but that was definitely one of the songs that got sang, either in the morning, or I was going to mention too, we had night service too. So there were some Sundays that I have to go back to church around 7, 8 o'clock. I was like, but Martin's on. But okay. So Blessed Assurance. Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine. Mm-hmm. Oh, what I don't know what that word is. This is my star. I skipped. This is my song. Okay, so now I will say this. For us who we didn't have a choir, we had some good singers. There was a lot of women in the church that could hold all the notes, and the men too. And they knew tenors. It was, I don't know, I guess it's because we're Black folk. We just have a certain soul in our bodies to begin with.
And in the Catholic Church, you don't give all of that soul to it.
But okay, when I say soul, I don't mean we're not putting the whole.
No, I know, but it's not. It's all.
It's standard,
but it's just flat.
Oh, okay.
Like there's not really a.
Okay. Just
like I just sang it, that's how it is. Like there was no.
Okay, I have another one that this one. Oh. Well, that's not okay. Never mind. I was gonna sing "It Is Well with My Soul." Yeah, you know that one, right? Mm-hmm. That's not a brethren
hymn.
That's a everybody hymn. Yeah. But like just songs like that, and goodness, if I could get my hands on a hymn book, I could ask my mama because she has.
So let me see if I think I might have found a.
Let me see if I can find a good one.
I think this one is a. I went to YouTube, y'all. So if there's a.
I feel like just sitting down right now.
That's how the organs play in the Catholic Church.
I'm sorry. I hit the microphone.
See, you be getting pinched in the back by now.
Oh, we're going to talk about that next.
But that's, yes. And look how pretty that organ is. It's a
I love those
beautiful
organs. I am not even mad.
I would feel like, dang, giving it no soul. Like, that's what we had.
But it's pretty.
It's pretty, but when you're a kid and you've been in a church for 3 hours, you need to pick me up. You don't want something that soothing.
Okay, hold on. I think I can.
It's almost like spa music, if you ask me. Now let me find a Baptist.
Okay.
Because in the Baptist church, that's where I got introduced to the tambourine. There ain't no tambourine at the Catholic church. But you got the sister in the back with the tambourine. Part of the choir got the tambourine. Somebody over there playing the organ. Somebody over there playing bass. Then you got another person in the back who got the whole electric guitar. Then when they had the keyboard and they brought the keyboard out to play along with the organ, you are very entertained. Right. And so you're like, okay, get it, right? But
okay. Everything I'm pulling up are hymns that everyone probably knows, and unless you grew up Baptist, like you said, because Baptist people don't use hymns, do they? Mm-mm. They have songs.
No,
they have actual songs.
Let me see if this one has a good one. Hold on, let's see.
Is that Wade in the Water?
Do you hear the difference?
But is that Wade in the Water?
Walk with me, Lord.
Okay. Yes.
Woo! Exactly.
Hallelujah.
So you know the congregation is like, play it, brother.
Y'all, I'm over here rocking. Look, I'm getting chills. The Spirit is here, Lord. It's already. Yes. Play it for me, Sister Mabel. Like,
right. Well, you be
yes.
Like, this thing, but this is like Brother Runtforth or something like that. You know, it was a good old big dude who was up there sitting playing the
man.
That's how a Baptist organ sounds versus the Catholic organ. Yeah. Big difference. So from a kid, that's a shock to the spirit because you're like, wait, you can play it like that?
Man, they going in.
So
hallelujah.
Because again, there's really not a big choir presence in the Catholic Church. But on the Baptist Church, there's anyone here who has listened to our show that comes from that upbringing, you know that Baptist choirs can sing. Tear up the whole house.
Okay, I don't think I should play this because I don't want to get flagged because it's not instrumental. But no. I'm looking at a YouTube clip and the guy was saying, like I said earlier, turn to hymn number 385.
Okay.
In this clip here. But I don't want to press play because I don't know who this belonged to. So, no. It's not an instrumental, but anyhow. Okay, so imagine that. You said you heard an organ in the Catholic Church, an organ in the Baptist Church. Okay. I heard nothing. There was not one instrumentation ever.
So could y'all have tambourines?
No. No maracas, no tambourines, no cymbals, no triangles, no whistles.
Let me tell you, because that was always my favorite when they brought the whole band out in the Baptist side and someone had the triangle.
That triangle be getting it.
They be getting it.
Okay, you know when we use instruments? Special occasions, usually Christmas, when you have like a Christmas performance. Because fun fact about Miss Jaye, you guys, like I said, I know how to read music. I taught myself how to play the keyboard because I had to learn certain stuff to do. So I learned about, like, I had no formal training with music at all, but I taught myself how to play the keyboard. I would mark the keys, like this is C, this is B, da-da-da-da.
Okay.
Even the black keys, because everybody forgets the black keys. But, like, I learned all of that. Mm-hmm. So when we would have, like, Christmas time, and we would sing a Christmas song. We were allowed to do that at least, but it had to be something about Jesus. We're not singing about Santa Claus. There was no mention of Santa Claus. Yeah. We didn't even know who Santa Claus was.
There was no mention of neither one of ours.
So yeah, I would probably like Silent Night. I would probably do that on on the keyboard or something. So we had instruments then. Right. But on a regular Sunday, no.
Oh, okay. See, we did have instruments on both sides. And then, like you said, during the special occasions, and that's when, like I said, the children's choir comes out and all that kind of stuff. And then I lived for all of the church plays. I don't know why.
Oh, that was my jam. Wait.
Loved
Let me hop in right here because shoulders dusted off. I wrote, I directed, I did everything for these plays. Me and one other older guy. But generally, especially when I got older, because y'all know I like to write, I was doing, and I made sure to have my personality represented.
Nope. So again, grandfather was the preacher. So I was forced to be in every Christmas play.
I didn't mind.
I was forced to be in the children's choir. I was forced to do a lot of stuff that I was like, I don't want to be up front.
Yeah.
But, because let me tell y'all something, okay? This is what, now we're really about to get into the meat and bones of my
The
childhood.
meat and potatoes.
The meat, no, we're going all down to the bones.
We're going to the bone marrow.
Because listen, Easter Sundays, okay? As a black female, I'm sure we all have suffered through the beauty makeover, if you will, for Easter Sundays. We all had that big old poofy, itchy, lacy dress, ruffle socks with white, not black, had to be white. Patent leather shoe, Mary Jane shoes, and you would get your hair pressed out. So you had to sit for hours in front of a stove where your mama had a hot comb and some Murray's grease. Y'all look this up, okay? Murray's grease, okay? If it wasn't Murray's, it was Royal Crown. Not Crown Royal. Crown Royal's liquor. Royal Crown was actually another hair grease product. Red container, metal top. So, they put that on your scalp. Put it in hot, come on. Straightening out your hair.
And it smelled.
And it smelled so bad.
Because our hair is burning, basically.
You're basically burning my scalp,
You're cooking my scalp, mama.
Okay? Just to straighten your hair out, pull it in the tightest of half up, half downs you could ever experience, to where I could barely blink my eyes. And then to top it all off, that tight bang.
The bang.
The bang.
Not the bang.
That bang that she would press it out, roll it up with the pink sponge.
Yes. Oh, God, those pink sponge rollers.
The pink sponge roller. You could not take that roller out until you got to church.
I don't know why.
So you had to ride in the car with this pink sponge roller in your church. I mean, on the way to church. And then would take it out and leave it in the car.
You have triggered me.
I am triggered. Because that was every special occasion.
Yeah.
Easter, Mother's Day, Passover, okay? Christmas. Every special occasion, you had to endure that pain. And I used to hate that bang, okay? Because when you took it out, because they didn't cut your bang
they
short,
sure didn't.
So your hair was still the same length. And then they took that thing out, and it was sprung right back on up.
And then, as the day went on, they would just kind of like droop.
Man, then it would get frizzy.
It was frizzy.
Because when you are at church all day, you couldn't run and play with the rest of the kids during like the break in between. Because remember, if I'm there early for Bible school, then you had a little break before you start church. And all the boys get to run and play around. You can't run and play around because you're in this big old lacy, ruffly dress.
Nope.
With a big old bow in the back. And you got to just sit there and
look pretty.
And look pretty. I am a tomboy. I wanted to run and play. But yet this bang, which is starting to come down and get in my eye socket because it's starting to poof up from humidity.
And it's full of grease.
And it's full of, your forehead is so greasy.
So greasy.
And just by the end of the day, you so shiny. You walk around so shiny. I used to have to go to, every time I went to the bathroom, I would take some tissue and wipe my forehead. Because it would be just so much oil and grease just coming down. I just don't understand why they did that to us back in the day. But yes, so again, grandfather was lead of the church. So I was always thrown to them plays or whatever special occasion that required the kids. We was there.
I didn't mind those. Okay. Before you, y'all,
I'm so triggered.
Can I come
right
back?
now.
Can you come back? Can I?
No, because I remember.
Because she's still
I can't even remember what song it was that they made me and my brother sing in front of the whole congregation by ourselves. And that was like I said. I know all of the aunties. Everybody, let them use you. It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead, sing your song. Yes, Jesus loves me. You got it. Yes, Jesus loves me.
Look at Regina.
A little louder. Yes.
That's okay, baby. Take your time.
Loves me. For the Bible tells me so.
Yes. Woo.
I used to be so man. I did not want to be up there.
Okay.
I wanted to be in the back in the pews with the rest of the kids.
This is when us as podcast co-hosts realize we are polar opposites because I'm a show pony. I didn't mind. I was up there. Hallelujah. All of that. I was just hitting on the mark. Bam, bam, bam. That's what that was me. That was literally me. They're like, yes, okay. So then they could count on me to do any of that stuff. But I was going to say, Easter Sunday, you know how the traditional Easter Sunday is for like Baptist church? You say, you'd recite something. Is it a poem? Or what is it for the kids? Is it a speech? Easter speech?
Yes.
We didn't do none of that. None of that.
You should find yourself fortunate. Because, again, don't nobody want to do when you were like 6 or 8, I didn't feel like doing all that. But yes, we had to go up there. We had to do an Easter speech. We had to, hold up, see, because she done triggered me. Because even in the Christmas play, and then you always had to do, somebody had to always do the manger scene. And so, you'd be up there and you'd be performing. And then if so only the teens or adults could do the actual like John and Mary and the three wise men and da 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 da. And then you had the little fake statues or whatever for the animals or whatever. But if they let the kids do it, we would reenact as if we were like not necessarily Mary or John, but bystanders in the story, right?
Isn't it Joseph?
Oh, yeah, it is Joseph. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. See, I'm so worked up. But there was one time where, because I'll never forget this, because I don't know who suggested this, but they had us play the animals. Oh. So they had us we had, part of the Sunday craft was to make the paper plates and make your mask for like the animal, like a cow or whatever.
That's child cruelty.
And so during our play, it was from like the view of the animals in the manger. So I'm not even joking, y'all. I don't remember how old I was, but again, it is embedded in my mind. But that is what they had us do.
Water.
And so it just these are the things that people think, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's so cute. But as a kid, you're
I'm sitting here dying.
Dressed like a goat. I'm just like, why am I dressed like a goat? Up here talking about, oh, look, the baby Jesus is born.
I think I see 3 wise men.
Right. Ooh, I think I see 3 wise men. Because remember, if we all know the story, Joseph and Mary was allowed no room in the inn.
Oh, my
so
God.
they actually slept in a manger. So in manger is where the animals are, in the stables, basically. So the animals are there. They're like, oh, here comes Mary and Joseph.
Give them room.
Right. Yeah. They're sleeping on a barrel of hay. And so the part of the actual script is like,
oh my God.
The horses like that are coming in, that the 3 wise men are on. Which, by the way, when you do become an adult and you read the Bible, you guys, it don't say there was 3 wise men.
Sure don't.
It just says that there are wise men that had 3 gifts. So, little factual. But anyways, the horse. So it's the 3 horses, and they're like, where are we going? Da, da, da. I don't know. I heard we're going for following the star. So then there was a kid dressed up as a star, and I'm the star, and I'm gonna lead you to our Lord and Savior, and follow me. So it was. I don't know who thought of this. Maybe we should have had you, Miss Jaye, writing the script because I don't know who wrote that script back in the day.
You should have.
But that's what they had us doing. So it was things of that nature.
No, we didn't dress up as no animals.
That we were pulled into as kids.
We didn't do that. Okay. I'm sorry. I was going to mention earlier before you come back. Come back.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm trying my best.
Ooh, when we go visual. Okay. I'm sorry. I was going to mention what we did have to do, which sometimes I hated, was recite the memory verse of the week. Okay. Did y'all do that? In any of the 2?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, I felt that as a student, I'm already doing homework as it is. I was defiant and sometimes did not want to remember this one verse. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't. I was like, I already have too much to do during the week. I got squeezed into.
So you was fine writing a whole play.
Yeah, because that's creative.
To memorize one verse was a problem for you. Oh my gosh.
And then the way they would do it was like they would call on every young person under the age of 16, 15 to recite this memory verse. So so we know John 3:16. We know,
right.
How that go. But they weren't giving us verses like that. They were going in like Proverbs and like Romans. Even like so like me and one of my best friends in the church, we would call each other the night before. Yes, we would call each other and say, did you learn the memory verse this week? I ain't learned it. Did you learn it? Okay, let's talk about it right now. So we would spend like an hour, maybe not even that long, talking about the verse, but then we could talk about some other stuff like who we thought was cute.
Wait a minute, hold on. So y'all was cheating off of each other?
Yeah. Yeah. Just we would like coach each other, right? So then by the time we got on Sunday, they would literally call everybody by name. They'd be like, Regina, you would stand up, you would say it. Yeah. If you say it right, kudos.
You know my favorite verse?
What?
Jesus wept.
Yeah, mine too. So like when they would get to me, sometimes depending on how I felt, I'm a weird child, I would have a little taste of stage fright. And I know that's a total. Don't look at me like that. Huh?
That's an oxymoron.
It is.
Talking about how you like the show.
But when you're put on the spot, it's different.
That's true.
Because when as the show pony, I'm in control.
Right.
I understand why Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. Because you're like in control of that whole thing.
True.
So when they would come to me, I'd be like, Romans, and I wipe my face. Ain't nothing on my face. I wipe my face. Just Romans chapter 2:17. And God said, oh God. And then I just like freeze.
And then you freeze.
And then like
meanwhile she's like, yeah.
Right. Or like my cousin or somebody be like, say it. It's thou shalt. So I look down, I'm like, what is it? Thou shalt, blah, 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 blah. And then they be like, okay, next week just learn, focus a little, whatever. I get to look for my grandmother. I'm going to kick your butt. Why?
Yeah.
Because she was serious about that. Don't make her look bad.
Right. Don't make me look bad in front of all the sisters of the congregation.
And that was another thing, too. If we're going to dive into that really fast, because you said your grandfather was the preacher, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there was a certain level of don't make us look bad as the kids of the church, especially like with my grandmother. Because like I said, everybody knew Hazel didn't play. If you were... like my uncle, his kids, you didn't play. Like that, you just had a certain level of chest up. I don't make jokes with you. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm doing this. That's how it used to be. And like, so if something got carried around that, Steven did something bad, like everybody would know and they would talk about you.
Oh, see, yeah, no. I think again, curse of being the preacher's kid and preacher's grandkid, you just don't care. It's like, you know what, because you're already battling that having to be held at such a high standard because you are the granddaughter of the preacher. It's a lot of pressure. And I was just like, I just want to live my life. I don't want to do all this. But I do remember, yes, we did have to memorize on both sides. Even the Catholic side, when you were going through Bible school, you did have to memorize certain verses. You did have to remember certain, especially like, Psalms 23. And what's the other one? So the
Psalms?
Lord's Prayer. Yeah, there's the Lord's Prayer and the other one.
31, isn't it? Or 35 or 37.
See, I don't remember numbers. All
okay.
that is
I know them when I hear them.
In my brain back there.
Right.
Yeah. So, but you did have to remember certain things, and then of course remember like the what are they called on the Catholic side? When they do I can't think of the word right now, but the prayers, the Mary and all that stuff. All Mary, full of grace.
Isn't it? They're called Hail Marys, or
yeah, but there's a term for them. I just can't think of what it's called. So, but yeah, there's certain things you gotta learn. Now, what I do remember, and I don't know if this is the same for you guys. I don't know what it was in the church when we were younger. The one thing they never allowed us to touch on, it was always don't read the book of Revelation. They would be like, no, read everything else, but like, don't read that book. That book is, if you read that book, it almost made it feel like if you read that book, it'd be cursed or something.
I don't think we spent a lot of time in Revelations.
I know we never went over it in Bible school.
I know I would just read it just because I was like, what's the big deal?
Right, because they made it such a big deal.
Because the content was probably just scarier.
Right. Like, maybe Book of Revelation needed like a little advisory warning. Warning.
Parental guidance suggested.
This book contains scenes or wording of a certain nature.
Okay, speaking of what we didn't talk about, did y'all talk about sex? Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Okay, because I'm asking from a little older me when we were in like the young people's, groups and stuff. You are 13, 14, whatever. Right. You're a young adult.
You in good hormonal age.
What? You are at full speed ahead.
You are at peak.
So there's that boy that you didn't think that was cute at 9, but all of a sudden he looked good at 13. Wait a minute.
And now imagine, for you, y'all group around each other. Remember, my experiences were really only in the summer.
Oh, no.
So, and like you said, like you at 10, you like, ugh, Jonathan's gross. He picks his boogers. And then you go away and then you come back for another summer. You're like, oh, John look different.
Yeah. Like I literally watched a lot of my peers grow up. Mm-hmm. And even I still keep in touch with some of them now. But in that early stage, it's like, oh no, girl, he do smell good, But I'm getting to the part where, yes, kids have questions about certain stuff, and I promise you, they skirted around that whole part of life.
They did. The only time this is gonna sound bad. The only time Sister whatever it was brought up that topic was when
oh Lord,
it was probably 12, I think, and two kids got caught kissing in the back of the church bus.
Oh, see, I knew that church bus was no good.
Well, yeah, you got kids in a bus by themselves. It's Sunday morning. It ain't packed. It was only 5-6 kids. You just snorted. 5-6 kids be on the bus. So imagine, especially if you're going up there from 5 through 12, you only have a couple of little 5-year-olds. They're gonna be in the front by themselves. So of course the teenagers in the back. So I remember these two kids that get caught kissing, and so I think it was the bus driver who told the lady, and so of course we had to have a whole discussion about it is fornication. You should not be kissing each other.
Kissing is not fornication,
and you're like, oh God. Of course the rest of us are snickering oh, you guys got y'all gonna be in trouble. But as far as actually bringing it up. And then talking to kids about, hey, your hormones are going to change. You're going to experience this and that. No, neither one of them did that. The only thing we were taught as females,
everybody knows
was that you going to have a period.
Yep.
And that you help clean.
Yep.
That was literally it.
Oh, and the bonus, keep your legs closed until you're married.
Keep your legs closed until you're married. So on the Catholic side, they don't have there was no banquet hall or reception hall. Mm-hmm. You come in, you do, like I said, it's quick, and then everybody go home. On the Baptist side, after every service on Sunday, my grandmother, again, you talking about your grandmother Hazel, mine was Henrietta, okay, because we had some good old grandma names back then.
We sure did.
On my dad's side, it's my grandma Mildred. I don't know any
Hazels right now.
And on my mama's side is Grandma Henrietta.
My mom's mom is Josephine.
See? Man, these names. So yes, Grandma Henrietta, her, because she was the wife, so she's the lead of the first lady, and so her, and then all the deacons' wives and all that stuff, they would all take off their church hats, and they would go down the stairs down into where the banquet was, and then they would start cooking the meal.
Oh, they would cook there.
They would cook there because there was kitchen, so they would cook there. Okay. You did have some people who would bring in cookies or whatever, which were so gross because they were bringing store cookies and whatever. But they would cook the food, and then they would put up the folding tables and whatnot. Because remember, because it's the little reception hall, if people had like weddings or something, it's the same area where they would be down in there. Mm-hmm. So they had folding tables, folding chairs, all that stuff. Okay. So they would pop all that up for us it would be like, not the whole congregation because everybody would go home, but my grandfather, my grandmother, us kids, the deacons, deaconesses, all that stuff, we would all go down there and everybody would sit and eat. And so we would eat, and some of the food wasn't good.
It wasn't good?
Sometimes, because you'd be like, Because, there's always that one sister who swears she can cook and she can't cook, and you'd be like, what is that? Stop. I think that was like one of the first times I've ever seen that tuna macaroni salad. You know what I'm talking about? Where they use the elbow noodles, but it's cold and it's like tuna and mayonnaise. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And then as a kid, you get plucked behind the back of your ear by your own grandma. She'd be like, girl, just get a little bit of it and put a little bit of it in your plate. Why? And you're like, I don't want that. It don't look right, grandma. And she'd be like, girl, stop. Go on, get a piece. And so you take the little spoon possible and put it on your plate. But there was always that sometimes, or the dry looking piece of cake.
No. Hazel was not like that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Not my grandma, because there was like my grandmother could cook, and there are other.
No. I'm saying how your grandmother said just take a little bit. Oh, yeah. Grandma was like, no, don't take it if you don't want it. No, because she didn't like eating at the people anyway. Oh, so like we kind of did that. Well, I shouldn't say we. There was a family that lived in Miami because I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, and our church structure was in Fort Lauderdale, so. Instead of them going all the way back to Miami and then coming back, they would bring lunch. It's only like 45-minute drive, right? Yeah, they would bring lunch or
That's
bring
like from coming to Smyrna.
Yeah, so they would bring food, and you're welcome to have some if you want. But my grandma's like, nope, you got food at home. I cook, your mama cook, somebody cook. You need to get enough off him. But that food was good though. Mm-hmm. But she was like, nope, you don't need nothing. Like one day I did stay, I shouldn't say one day. I did stay like a couple Sundays. I didn't go home immediately, so I would eat what they provided because like you said, being polite. The food was good though, but she was always like, no, yeah, you ain't gotta eat that. Don't drink that. Don't touch that. I'm like, okay, cool.
No, you would find all kinds of things there sometimes because, especially, this goes sound so bad when you have a new deacon and deaconess, right?
Oh,
she would always like to, be like, oh, I can cook and I can bring I can bring some cornbread, and then you would know that it wasn't gonna be good because all the other wives is whispering and like, oh, she don't bring that cornbread. Oh no, don't put the cornbread in the front, put it in the back, so that people couldn't see it. So, but yeah, because sometimes it would be wrong. Now. You had, like, my grandmother would have, like, they would be back there cooking, like, frying chicken. Yeah. Not, like, just, like, they fried chicken. They would cook, good Southern type food is what they would prepare back there.
I'm sitting here I don't think there was, like, a oven or anything in the kitchen that we had. Mm-hmm. No, we had a fridge. I know there was a microwave, but I don't think they had an oven. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, they had one.
They probably went to somebody's house that was nearby and cooked that stuff and brought it over. Like for like special occasion stuff. Mm-hmm. They probably did that.
Yeah. So yeah, we had this stuff. But again, like Catholic side, no, we didn't do that. But on the Baptist side, every Sunday, you go down there and you go, mingle and then they were talking about that. And then afterwards, the kids, help take the tablecloths off and da-da-da-da-da. And then help.
Man, they put kids to work at these places. Yes. You kidding me?
Well, we always was working. Put that up. Grab all the chairs, fold the chairs up, stack them up, da-da-da-da-da. So.
You know what? We did have folding chairs too. Because we grew after a while. Mm-hmm. So we had to get folding chairs. So I remember they would ask us to fold up the chairs after like the first service or move them or whatever. We did a lot of work. We washed dishes, picked up the hymn books. Ooh. Oh, man. The extra Bibles. And there was an office to the right. And you first walked in, there was like an office, like where one of the, I don't know what they did. Then we would stack the extra stuff there. If you forgot your Bible, you get the Bible from there.
Mm. So we talked about our child experiences. So when you became an adult, what was the first church that you visited that was different? Was it like you went with a friend, you went with a boyfriend?
How much time do we have?
We got a few more minutes.
All right, let's get to it. All right, so as an adult, let me go back to college really fast. We went to like services on campus. I went to UCF, University of Central Florida. Okay. That wasn't really our zhuzh. Then we would hold our own little Bible studies. And after a while, we kind of forget or just not do it. And then the Baptists got hold of us because a lot of my friends, we did not grow up Baptist. Okay. I'm talking about I had Jamaican friends, Haitian friends, Bahamian, children of the Caribbean. We didn't really have the Baptists like that. Like how, like a Southern good First Baptist church of da-da-da-da. We didn't grow up like that. We got hold of one, I think during Black History Month of all times. The church was in, I drew a whole blank. Do you know the writer Zora Neale Hurston? It's not Ellenwood. It's not Inglewood. Oh my God. Eastonton. Oh my God. I'm having a whole brain fart here. Anyway, don't look at me like that. I can't but you know who Zora Neale Hurston is, right?
Not at all. What? Yeah, or give me the name of a book.
Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Oh yeah. I know that.
Jesus. And I'm having a whole fire. I am horrible with names. All right. So we went to Macedonia Baptist and we went to visit and we're like, this is some good stuff, you know? And then we just kind of kept going. And then when I moved to Georgia, I started going to a church that I'm not going to name. You can name it if you want to. Mm-hmm. It's a mega church.
Yep.
It's a huge mega church. It's one of the popular ones, probably the most popular one. Yeah. And that there blew my mind altogether. I was like, whoa.
Right.
It was a big whoa. I was actually nervous. I was like, I don't think I'm praising right. Yeah. It don't feel right. I was like, because again, when you're growing up, you go from sitting down, being quiet, listening to now taking part in this worship experience.
Right.
Standing up, praising, busting a shuffle, move. You're just like,
yeah.
Is everybody okay?
Right. I know because, so again, my parents, because I guess of their upbringing, they just was like, we ain't even going to, they never forced us to do any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But my grandparents did. But, so.
Shout out to the grandparents.
Right. So one of my cousins, she's from Oakland on my grandmother's side. She's actually my second cousin, which is weird. She's younger than me, but she's my second cousin. Mm. So I don't know what religion she was brought up under with her family at Oakland, but when she was here, she went to Spelman and she went to, like I said, a mega church.
Yes.
And so I had just moved down here and I was like, you know what? I need to start, look, I was like, I think I need to start learning to understand and learn the Lord, because even though my parents weren't, very pushy about going to church or anything like that, my parents loved to party. It's a party. But my grandfather, one of the things he made me promise him, I will never forget this when I was younger. He was like, promise you always say your prayers every night.
Yeah.
And read a verse every day.
Yeah.
So I promised him that. And I really did. And I stuck with it. And that's why when I was a teenager, when I hit the book of Revelation, I was like, ooh, I don't even know if should I open this and read it? Like, again, they had us so scared and terrified. And I was like, I don't even know if I wanted to turn that page, and read it. And then you read it and you're like, you know what? It's not that.
The mark of the
right.
beast.
It ain't scary, but it's just like, it is talking about, after the world is, ended and, the resurrection of Christ, all that stuff.
Child and rapture.
Right, and the rapture, all that stuff. So it talks about all of that. And so I was like, in my adulthood, I'm like, you know what? I've just moved to Atlanta. Let me start actually finding myself a church home. And so she invited me to go. And I went, and mind you, I had friends. I went to all of them. Mm-hmm. So I've been to the Dome, been to Eddie Long's.
That one. That one.
Yes.
That
New
one.
Birth. There you go. Went to New Birth. Yeah, I've been to New Birth. And
I did too.
I'm going to tell y'all right now. Y'all be mad for me when you want to. But what I do not like when you go and you get all the hemming and whatever you want to call it.
That.
Yes. Because I'm like, what am I being fed? I'm not
bound.
I'm not getting
That's true. That's
anything from this. Now,
That's true.
And again, my grandfather is a Baptist preacher. Sometimes he would go through his moments and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, that's it. Because I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But then there are moments when he's not caught up in the spirit, if you will. And I could, and I had a lot of talks. He's my grandfather. So we did have a lot of talks. So I did learn a lot from him. Yeah. But yeah, when I was trying to visit some churches and everybody, yes. And the Lord said, guess what, brother, and so sister said, and it was wrong with them, and and you be like,
in the choir.
Right. And then someone signaled the organ. And you're like, wait, what is happening?
What was said?
Are we on a scripture?
I don't. Right.
Look, and I'm flipping through the book. I'm like, wait. Where were we at?
What do you?
Look, I'm looking at the neighbor and she's like, I don't know.
It's on the screen.
Right,
no, it's not.
She's like, just go with it. Just let it move you. And you're like,
what move me? Right. Hands up like,
throw my hands up. Oh no, yes. Like that lady in the house party scene.
Put your hands up.
Yeah.
All the way up.
When kids trying to get the old people, it's like, yeah. Boom. And then they try to rap it. He's like, wave your hands in the air.
She said,
no, just wave them. She just throw her hands up.
She had her hands up.
That's how I felt. Because I was like, I don't know. What are we doing? So if I wasn't getting anything, I was like, okay, it's a nice experience. But I don't think I understood at all what he was saying.
Yep, that's true. Because growing up, we did a lot of studying of the word. Even though, like I said, it was different to the eye, we studied, we learned stuff. Right. And like you said, like you mentioned, like if I'm in a church that's not like fulfilling me, or y'all not talk about anything but he's risen or whatever, like I need more. And the church that you just mentioned, I ain't gonna repeat it, but I did walk out of that service one Sunday. I was
you walked all the way out. See, I rode along with people, so I couldn't leave. And again, it just wasn't for me. That is for some people love and enjoy that. I myself, I don't want to get, this is going to sound so wrong. I don't want to be spat on while the preacher or from the pulpit, where it's like, Holy Spirit, baptized. But it's like, I'm not receiving what you're saying because I'm really not understanding what you're saying. Yeah. So I do enjoy the church that I go to now because it's more of a teaching, like today's lesson, we're going to focus on da-da-da. And then we go through the scriptures. But it's a good combination of that plus choir music plus this.
It's the whole thing.
It's a whole thing. So it's a good balance, if you will. Yeah. But it's still, that also isn't for everybody. Because some people be like, I'm bored. And people fall asleep when they're like, it's not exciting enough. Especially if that's how they grew up.
Yeah. So I was just going to mention certain family members of mine did have a problem with a lot of us attending different churches, especially those mega ones, because all they saw was like the shiny suit part of it all. Right. And didn't really like stop and listen to what the person's actually talking about. Absolutely. It's not just about, money and, what's it called?
Prosperity.
The
prosperity message. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not about that. I'm like, listen, like we're still getting spiritually fed here.
That's the thing. It's like, okay, so what? You saw on TV or you saw a news article where they said Pastor such and such did da-da-da-da. Yeah. But it's like, but you're going off of one headline. You need to actually go and experience it or pull service up online and see what they're talking about. Because you go into some of the churches and it's like even the smaller churches be off. Like you're like, it has nothing to do with the size of the church. My church is very big that I go to. And like I said, I enjoy it because of the way that he teaches the word to us all. And there are some things though that I had to learn to accept when I started going there, because again, I've never experienced people talking in tongues. That threw me for a whole.
We didn't do that in growing up either.
I was like, what is happening?
They used to walk people out who would start talking in tongues.
Oh, they would kindly usher them over.
They would come get them. Like, what's that movie where they would just like come get somebody and just like, you don't see them until like a day later. Like, you okay? Like remember in Get Out when the camera flashed. He was like, get out, leave. And they ushered him away. And then they're like, oh, he's laying down. He's just, he had a little break. He comes out. He's like, yes, I'm sorry. My apologies. That's how that looked.
Oh, wow.
It's like, there's like a guy or two who
I just never even experienced it.
I don't do it.
Yeah.
Myself, I have never done it. I'm not even a fake. I've never done it.
Speaking in tongues?
Yeah.
I know in the Catholic Church, they just don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, or I never saw it, right? And I never saw it in my grandfather's church. But in the church where I go to now, and a lot of the churches here in the South, they do, a lot of them do speak in tongues. And that was a shock to me because I was like, I don't know.
And then like a lot of people do it too in like just everyday, like even if they're reading an announcement, like they'll just like bust out and like, shut up. They're like, wait. You're just talking about, next week is, past appreciation. Why are you saying?
Like, why
talk about 100? Like what happened? Like how'd you get there?
Yes.
Like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, but to be honest, again, if you read in the Bible, it does talk about people being baptized in the Holy Ghost with the ability to speak in tongues. It does talk about that. So that was something I had to appreciate and learn because I was like, oh, I didn't. Again, there are certain things that as a kid, you're like not taught in the Bible itself. And so, that was a shock. The other thing that was a shock for me was when people when they run. When they just take off running.
I call them holy runners.
I was like, look, and everyone knows in the Black culture, when people take off running, you don't ask questions.
You follow.
You just run. And so when you're trained that way, and I'm at church and someone take off running, I like the first time I started running because I was like, what are we doing? But then I'm like, wait, not everybody's running. So I was like, wait, hold on. Then I was
just a
like,
select few.
Right. I was like, there's like, am I supposed to run? Like, what is going on? Why are we running? And then it was explained to me like, oh, she's, she experienced the spirit.
When the spirit of the Lord comes upon her. So I was going to mention too, I should have said this earlier when you talk about churches we went to, like as a young adult. We did settle on one in college, me and my best friend and some other friends. I don't think that church still exists. Okay. But we saw a lot of holy runners there. Yeah. I mean, it was like on cue, like ready, set, go. Right. And you just like, did it go? Did it go? Did it go? Did it go?
They're running. They're running.
And he would eat it up. As the pastor, he would eat it up. He's no longer alive. But he would eat it up. Like, I don't want to get into that because that's a whole different, probably a whole different episode.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
False prophets.
Oh. Well,
I don't want to call him a false prophet, but let's just say the street life didn't really leave him like how he claimed.
Wow. Was this Mason Betha?
No. No, it was not Pastor Mason.
Remember when he started his church? And here in Atlanta,
I mean, he did,
and he had a lot of people following him.
You know who celebrity church I would go to?
Who?
Reverend. If he had a church.
Wait, I didn't know he had a church.
I'm saying if he did.
If he had a church.
Because he is a reverend. I don't think they had a church. He may have had a role in the church they went to, but if he ever opened up his own church, I would go. He's smart. He's very wise.
Oh, he is. He absolutely is. I would like to go to Bishop T.D. Jakes' church one time.
Oh, wait. Okay, I'm not going to. No.
Did you go?
No, I used to work for T.D. Jakes' ministries.
Oh, what? Wait a minute. In Texas? Because isn't his church in Texas?
Girl, in Atlanta, Georgia.
I didn't know he had a church here in Atlanta.
I said ministries, not the church.
I apologize. Is it outreach ministry or a separate ministry?
It was a call center. So, all right.
Okay, a call center.
All right, he had a contract with, again, I don't even think this company exists either. We're talking early 2000s.
Okay.
He had a contract with a call center type of company that would host. Okay, so whenever he had
a prayer line?
Yes. Okay. Whenever he had a broadcast, there was a number for the prayer line and a number to order the DVDs and the cassettes. Right. I did the ordering part, but the prayer line, them girls is right behind me. So I would go.
So you tried to get order and then.
Girl, okay, let me just walk you through this really, really fast. Yes, because this is another thing that people have a problem about with mega churches because of the money that's made from it. I mean, but it's TD Jakes is still a business. Like he is a business.
Listen, even Jesus said that this is my Father's business.
Right. So yeah, it was a part-time gig. It was like one of my first jobs in Georgia.
Okay.
So like I would go on like the weekends. So like I had to be there by like 8-ish or something at the call center at night. Yes, child, till like midnight because the broadcast was long. So when it was done, the commercial would flash, call 1-800 blah 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 to get a copy of Women Thou Art Loose or whatever the thing was being played.
Okay.
So I would take calls from people who wanted to order the DVDs and the this and the that, and the prayer line ladies were like literally like a row behind me. So yes, I'm taking an order, and all of a sudden they're, and yes, Lord, and yes, Lord. You're like, can you repeat that card number, please?
Yes, I would like to order the Women That Are Loose.
Yes. Okay. Can I have your name, please? Yes, Lord. Okay. Ma'am, I'm sorry. Just give me 1 second. Can you just how's your evening going? Amen. Yes, no weapon formed shall prosper. You're like, oh, okay. So can you read that number one more time? That's how it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I know I never met TD Jakes, never met Sarah or his wife or anybody, but that was just like their contracted part.
Yeah.
So I didn't stay there long. I did not, because it was a way, way out in Kennesaw.
Yeah. I mean, I liked his book, like I said, The Woman Thou Art Loose, and there's a couple other books that he did that were really good. I like, because I know we've been talking about a lot about Black pastors, but I did also like Dr. Charles Stanley.
Oh, did he just pass away?
He just passed away.
He did. We used to listen to Charles Stanley in the morning.
It was so calm and soothing the way that he
super
talked.
calm.
And he was very educated the way that he was.
He was him. And my dad loved Frederick Price, the Black guy out of California, I think he was.
Okay.
He looked like Richard Pryor. That's what we kept saying. He looked like Richard Pryor. He was like, I think he's still alive. I need to Google that really fast. But he was like, and didn't God tell you? He would like walk through like the aisles and stuff. Like, he said it. He was like, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You're right.
Right. He was like, he is not wrong.
Yeah. But I did like Dr. Charles Stanley as well. Because he, like I said, he is very calm.
Man, I used to love TBN. I ain't gonna lie to you.
TBN?
Yes. We had an old TV in our kitchen growing up, in the little kitchenette area. My mom kept on TBN like
Trinity Broadcast
Network. And then my mom has a habit of leaving devices on when we leave the house. She still does it to this day.
Oh, what? Really?
She still
power.
She don't care.
Okay.
She wants people to think that somebody's in the house.
Oh, well,
even though there's a whole alarm system, she will still leave the radio on or the TV. So we would walk out to church or, service or whatever, and she would leave TBN on and come back, it's still on.
Oh, wow. So, but yeah, so those were, as I got to, so that's how I got, introduced to a couple things. It was like friends and my cousins where I would come and try out different churches in the area. Because if y'all have never been, I'm gonna tell you right now, when you come visit Atlanta, there's a lot of churches.
There is a lot.
A whole lot of churches.
There's a lot.
Like even down our main street, Peachtree Street, there's like every probably 20 feet, if you will. There's like a church.
Had you ever been to Ebenezer? Ebenezer Baptist?
Yes.
I've been. Yeah.
Been Ebenezer. There's so many. There's a lot here, which I do appreciate because again, everybody's spirit receives and learns things differently. What might be good for you ain't not necessarily good, for me. It's all different.
I just started humming Different Strokes. Yeah, leave me alone.
Oh, different strokes rule the world, so the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's true though. Different strokes for different folks. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed this bonus episode, bonus one. Again, we have actually 2 more bonuses to give you guys as a special surprise in between our season break. We're going to end this episode here, and next week's episode, we're going to pick up right where we left off and continuing about our church experiences as an adult and some of the things that we're still reminiscing on from our childhood. We hope you all enjoyed. Please be sure to make a comment or, like and subscribe if you weren't already following and subscribed to our podcast. But definitely, we would like to hear some feedback from you all about some of your childhood experiences, especially if they're anything like ours. We want to make sure we didn't experience some type of Twilight Zone situation out of our own way different and off from everyone else. But again, we'll see y'all again next week. We hope y'all enjoyed this special episode. Thanks.